Here just in time.
You did it.
That's right. That's what I'm here for.
Literally the second I press the button.
Wait, y'all. Brandon, do it. Do it.
More face?
No. I mean, more face, but no. Put the background up. Because we got the OG3.
Oh, well.
We have an actual OG3 day.
Listen, I don't know whether I'm not gonna get the music. I have a whole suite prepared for when Leia's here, but it's fine. The OG3, the OJ3 is a totally different situation. Both of you guys would not make it through that episode, but the OG3 are here.
Listen, Brandon, you can OJ Simpson me anytime. Oh, no. Okay, I'm ready to die.
I love that. I think there's a book on Amazon. It's like a very long 20-part series. A lot of housewives are into it. Listen, we're here. We're all alive. Mm-hmm. We saw that incredible debate. We all talked about, should we watch it as a group, and we're like, no, we can't take that. And then we said, should we post through it as a group? And we got like 5 minutes in, and we were like, no, we're not going to do that either. We just lived our lives and we made it through it. So we need to talk about that. We've got a lot of shit going on that we should be talking about. What stands out to y'all as the number one? Well, listen. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Leslie. So, like, what? Like, most important moment of the debate, most important reflection, most important why? Like, what are we talking about?
If we all agree the debate's the most important thing that happened, what's the most important thing that happened during the debate?
The fly.
The fly?
Like, obviously, the fly. Yeah.
Leslie, is there anything else that stuck to your mind? The pandemic, this historical event, climate change, the tax fraud, which is also one of the largest scandals in the history of America. Any of this, or is really the fly our big story here?
The fly is the big story, but Pence not answering a single question was driving me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The funniest thing about that was that when Kamala dodged questions, he was like, everybody look at this dodge, and you know, you don't like to have pro-Kamala content on here because we have so many toxic leftists that follow this channel. But however, most of her dodges,
toxic leftists that make this show.
Yeah, that's true too. But most of her dodges were reasonable dodges. A person who's running for vice president should not talk about what they are going to do if the sitting president refuses to peacefully transition power. Like, you would be an idiot to give an actual answer to that question. But when she dodged this question about hacking the Supreme Court, which is also a question that an intelligent person who's running for president should not answer, Pence was like, look at this. She won't answer the question. But this dude did not answer a single question except for the one at the end about the little girl that asked about why aren't people friends anymore. And by the way, let me just interrupt the show. Bring this camera in on me. Every fucking debate that we have, every single one, somebody at the end of it goes in and there's like, we've got one more important question. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we all be friends? What is with the lack of civility in our politics? And I'm like,
we got one more question, and it was submitted by Pete Buttigieg.
and little Mayor Pete, he says, why can't we all just get along? And like, as I like to say, politics is all about the determination of who gets to live in peace and who gets to live in health. After a debate where we've got like sides on opposite ends of the pandemic that's killed 200,000 people, like literal, an incredible historic event. When we have like the president is somebody who paid $700 in taxes and is in debt to unknown foreign entities. I know I sound a little like Mad Owl Resistance Twitter, but like, these are facts. These are just like facts that we all know here. When you have the largest civil rights uprising in the history of the country, just in terms of breadth across the country, in terms of numbers of people. When you have just all of these things and every single thing that was discussed over that last night, when you have climate change, like whether we are going to be able to live on an inhabitable earth or not, there's a political party that is supporting like literally like cracking the earth in half during this perilous state. And you have another party that's like, I want to stress and emphasize, we agree with this and we'll do nothing to solve this problem. So given the fact that all of these things that are being talked about during this TV show are things that impact on whether people will get to survive, who and how many will get to survive the next 10 years. The idea that like, why should there be civility? Like, why should there be peace right now? What's the reason for it? And who benefits?
I mean,
Yeah.
This is such a common complaint from centrists in particular, that like, oh, we're not being civil anymore. And it's like, yeah, when you have a solid 30% of the population that literally wants to do genocide and exterminate an entire ethnic group or an entire like race, or in the case of the current modern right wing, both, because they're just super white supremacists, like, yeah, you can't just argue politely with that. There is no polite response to, I don't think you should exist.
Well, and civility doesn't mean not holding people's feet to the fire. And that's the problem that the Democratic Party has that I've seen, that like, as someone who's trying to be more civil, that doesn't mean that you don't call people out on their bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes love says no.
A right-wing terrorist group was caught attempting to kidnap the governor of a state. Like
before we jump ahead to that, I want to just say one more thing about the debate. I think the biggest takeaway for me is, and this honestly, if you're still thinking that there's any good to come of Biden, alarm bells should be going off after last night, because my biggest takeaway is the fracking thing. For sure. If you ever, I've talked many times about the fact that the Democratic Party is trying to wash their hands of every responsibility right now. They know that they failed us with Obama. They know that they failed us with Clinton, in terms of like her not even be able to win. And rather than learning from any of that stuff, they're trying to wash their hands of it using Trump and Russiagate. And that's this fracking shit in a nutshell. Like literally, that's the defense that they're going for today, is that we need fracking so that we're less reliant on Russian oil because Russia. That's where these people are at. That's insanity. Yeah. It's insanity. And it's literally, this is when people are like, we got to push Biden left. It's over. Stop saying that. Stop. No one should say that after last night and this fracking debacle, because Kamala Harris literally got on her fucking Twitter and said, fuck yeah, fracking forever. Woo, woo! Who cares about the planet, baby?
And it is Hillary Clinton's position. Like that is one of the like when she was pressed, and one of the things that bums me out, and I'm somebody that tries to remain optimistic, but the thing that bums me out, stresses me out, is people don't remember things that they saw on the news. Like people will watch something and then literally forget about it, and 2 years later will argue with it like it didn't happen because they have a fantasy version of what happened in their head. So 4 years ago, they asked Hillary Clinton about fracking, and she literally was like, we're working in the Ukraine and we've got to stop Russia. And, you know, fracking is energy independence and stuff in Eastern Europe. And the more fracking there is, the more geopolitical leverage that we have on the Russian Federation. Those are literally her words. That's literally her argument. And the argument for fracking domestically is we cannot afford to lose a single vote in Western Pennsylvania. The same reason why you have corruption in terms of, Iowa and corn and subsidies for farmers. Like, we're subsidizing this thing, and the thing that they're selling is like mass destruction elsewhere in the country, and earthquakes and water that's not drinkable. Like, these are things that have direct consequences. And the thing that's going to make it worse is that in like 15 years, they're going to come on and be like, we're going to talk about this moment about, you know, fracking in 2020. And they'll be like, well, this was the best that politics could do in 2020. And as somebody who's an adult and is living through this right now, that's not true.
So you said at the very beginning, you know, like, people will forget things they heard 2 years ago. And I want to tie that back into something that I talk about a lot, that a lot of people just find intuitively wrong, that isn't wrong. When I say politics is a primarily narrative exercise, right? That's what I mean. The way people interact with all of these things, including the things that are happening directly to them, is through a story that they tell themselves. That's the entire personal narrative as such comes from this place of storytelling that we do. And it's a kind of imagining. It's not actually a real, you know, tangible experience. It is fundamentally artificial, right? And if you're a good enough storyteller, you can just tell a story that makes people believe things about themselves that aren't true. And that's exactly what's happening here. You know, that is exactly why people are behaving this way, is because, like, they're being sold this story of this being the most important thing, and these are the good guys, and you have to be on the team with the good guys. You have to sort of swear fealty to them. And they're buying it because it's a good story. Russia's a good story.
Yeah.
Trump is a good story, you know? Kamala Harris is a good story. She's going to be president. Biden's not going to complete the term, and he's probably going to win the election. Like, she's going to be president. That's a good story.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that I've
saved the entire country from the bumbling nonsense of a 70-year-old white guy who shits in his pants every day. Yeah.
Well, first of all, Joe does not shit in his pants every day. It just happens once in a while.
Shits in his pants every day.
Oh, whichever one. Well, Trump is probably a daily pooper, especially what he's going through right now. It probably just happened on the red. But I will just say
a little too hard.
This is the political commentary.
Yeah. All right. After I gave birth, I had stress incontinence for a while. I understand. And also, that's not the problem here. The problem is the part of their brain that controls their sphincter has melted. And that's why they're pooping themselves. It's because they're old and dying and their brain is rotting.
Patreon.com/notsafe for more of the insightful political commentary that you crave, that you come here for. It's what you need. Listen, so you're right in that, it helps, but listen, it's not everything. First of all, I want to say I do notice you low-key joining us on the Biden's probably going to win side. Mm-hmm. Let's mark that date.
I posted it on Twitter, actually.
October 8th, yeah. Warren might still pull this out.
I haven't entirely ruled off that she's going to be Kamala's VP.
That's true. Anything can happen. But listen, like, it is a weird situation, but also, and I've been saying this too, don't overrate the magnetism that these incoming Democrats will have during these very turbulent times, because, like, the Obama years were a different set of years than the years that we're about to have. And Joe Biden ain't Barack Obama. Kamala Harris ran for president and didn't get one delegate. She ain't Obama neither. I think that there's in the way that, like, the libs have a sense of fighting the last battle when it comes to messaging against Republicans. I also think the left has a problem with fighting the last battle when it comes to apathy or liberals or any of those kind of things. We are rhetorically and emotionally still in 2012, 2011. And this is just going to be a different time. And I think people are much more into this than maybe they were years ago. Obviously, the people who are going to go to sleep will still go to sleep. But I think there are more people who are interested in pushing on these issues than anybody predicting right now.
Yeah. Well, I think doing this work has really confirmed that for all of us. You know, the fact that we've been able to connect with as many people as we have who are doing as much or more work than we are pushing towards this goal is really hopeful, which is desperately needed, because when I think about our future, mostly what I feel is just dread, just like extraordinary amounts of dread. Like, there was a brief period last weekend where the dread was gone because I thought Donald Trump might literally die. And it was the most I've been able to breathe in like 6 months.
Well, number one, Trump dying isn't going to make things like better. Like, that's not the end of the movie. Like, this is.
But it would be like one good thing that happened, right?
The day after Trump dies, Marco Rubio will insinuate that Joe Biden had him assassinated, and there will be some sort of weird demonstration, and there will be a kidnapping plot. There will be something else. Like, things are just. You've got to remember that, like, the animating force behind Donald Trump is not Donald Trump.
And
like,
the fascist
he's got a skill at whipping people up. That yeah. We're
to be clear, it would be a purely symbolic victory.
Sure. Yeah, I know. We talked about the value of
but a purely symbolic victory can do a lot for morale, is what I'm saying.
One monkey don't stop the circus. Trump's presence or absence from demographics, from anxiety, from just the changes that are happening in the country, from the climate, from immigration, none of these things are going to go away with this one guy. So there's nothing really to celebrate, in my opinion, if he passes. Like, the struggle continues with or without.
I just need to believe that a good thing can happen, because it's been a really long time since one did.
Yeah, but here's the thing that I think a lot of people forgot. I know I did. I forgot just how evil Pence is until that day. I totally forgot. And I think most people, the regular everyday people that we're trying to reach here that aren't entrenched in politics, have forgotten how evil Pence is. And again, I forgot. And in the beginning of that debate, it was like, okay, this is going to be civil. And then he turned on the Transylvanian, whatever the fuck is in his veins. And I realized, oh God, he is a supervillain. Okay, yeah, he's evil too. I forgot about that. I mean, I've known, but I forgot just how smug and evil he really is. And I think those of us who forgot got a glimpse of the dark soul that is Pence last night and went, oh shit. Because if Trump dies, we have this fucktard to deal with, and oh God.
And I mean, like, the GOP are gonna rally around whoever. Like, they're not like us. They don't like obsess over personality and vetting and stuff. They're just gonna be like, we want to stay in power, because it's that simple to them. They don't make it more complicated than that. And they'll just vote Pence. Like, they would no Trump supporter would go to the polls. Not like a real one anyway. Maybe like one or two, like very wishy-washy people. Yeah. But the real hardcore Trump supporters, none of them are gonna go, do I want to vote Pence? They're just gonna march straight to the polls. I can't believe Donald's dead. Our beautiful martyred son.
Yeah.
You know?
And listen,
and we have to avenge him by voting Pence. Otherwise the deep state wins.
By the way, I'm going to say again, the deep state has one more lick they're going to put on Trump. And the fact that Trump got COVID does not scramble those plans. Trump's got, because this has been dripped, the deep state has been dripping the stuff from the taxes, from the I knew about COVID. All of it's coordinated. And there's one more lick coming on him. And it's still coming on schedule. So when it hits the news, everybody know what's up. Okay. But with that being said, as far as Pence goes, it's going to be like the Lion King. They're going to smear some stuff on him. They're going to hold his ass up. All of the Republicans are going to go, rah, rah. He's going to give a speech about pro-life and the Supreme Court justice. And they're all going to go, and then they're going to go, we just got copyright strick just for that one little beat. But yeah, it's just going to be, the machine is going to roll. but I don't take that as. And Flow Girl got Captain Killjoy of the USS Craptown. I don't think of this as a negative thing. Like the fact that the forces are in play, regardless of Trump's presence or absence, that's okay. Because our forces are also in play, regardless of whether it's Trump or Pence, or whether they're president or not president, or whether it's Biden as president or Kamala Harris as president or Bernie Sanders as president. I think that the movement that are seeing civilizational transformational change, whether that's on the left or the right, are fully engaged in what's going to happen. And what we owe to ourselves is not to get too high or too low about what happens this week and what happens next week, because we have like a lot of stuff ahead that's coming, and we all just have to be prepared and support each other. And
because again, the fascist project is not new. I feel like this is one of the maybe critical things that a lot of people. This is like you're talking about people not remembering the news. This is like one of the critical things that a lot of people need to like kind of get on board with. I think right now is like realizing this, because a lot of people, I think, in their mind, like the fiction of where this fascist project comes from is that Obama was elected president. And then the like ultra conservative reactionaries came out of the woodwork and said, we're bringing racism back because we really don't like that there's a black president. That seems to be like the fiction that like neoliberals are operating on, and a lot of people are operating on. This fascist project is at least 5 decades old. At least. You have to, at minimum, trace it to the skinhead movement in the 70s. You have to, at minimum, trace it to that. And if you're not tracing it back at least that far, you are not even seeing what's at stake here, or how hard these people have worked, or you don't even know what they're doing. You literally don't even know what they're doing. And this is the thing, is like these people, some of these people are old as hell and have been working on this their whole lives, and they see that they have power right now, and y'all think that they're just going to step back the second that like Trump is out of office or whatever. No.
I've been owned by a parable. This is an incredibly good parable, and I'm out of here. Kennedy, I would actually go further back than you, and I would go back to the John Birch Society.
Sure.
Although you could obviously go back to the 40s and, Henry Ford, things like that.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you could go back to the rise of fascism in Europe, because we almost jumped on board.
They took notes from us. So if somebody were to come on this show and say, actually, the fascist project is an uninterrupted project that dates to the founding of the country, I wouldn't argue too hard with that person.
I would not debate that.
But just the modern, I would say, Birch Society, and then we could start tracing forward. The fact that I can't take a ribbing makes me the admiral of the fleet. I love being the admiral. That's very cool. That's rad. Anyway, does anybody, I mean, I don't want to get us, I was trying to not be a doomer, because like, obviously our work continues unabated as well. So it's okay. It can be worse.
I mean, I think a lot of it is just that we are getting so close to the election, and the pressure always gets so high and the volume gets so high right before the election. I think it makes everything feel bigger and more immediate and more pressing, I, for one, am really looking forward to November 3rd, when we can just do the work again and we don't have to try and talk about who's going to be the next president to get people's attention,
And that might be an entirely separate episode, or maybe it's this episode, and we talk about just what it looks like after the election and where we're organizing and what we're doing. But people, like, we talk about this stuff every day. So
True that. Let's talk about the governor of Michigan.
Leslie, have you heard about this?
About the kidnapping plot?
Okay. Do you want me to pull up, Kennedy, the page from Detroit News?
I have it ready. If you want me to put it on screen.
Go wild.
Actually, I also have pulled up just the video of that Brandon Caserta guy. If we want to watch that, too.
Radical, yeah. Let's do whatever.
Let's just start with that. This is one of. I'm just going to introduce it like this. Honestly, this is one of the plotters, who was involved in the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer in Michigan. And I'm just going to let him speak for himself first, and then we'll speak.
know you work like one of the hardest challenges in life that you'll probably never be able to get away with, and that's to not get robbed by the state. Ariel, here's a thought for today. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people can and will secure their own oppression. Wake up.
Thanks for the advertisement.
I know, right?
I wish one of those commenters. Hold on, I just want to say, first of all, I wish one of those commenters from like 2 months ago was here today. The ones who were always like, "White nationalist terrorism isn't real. What are you guys talking about? Antifa are the ones doing the bad things."
The problem is, and yeah, we could plug into Andrea's YouTube and get those same dipshits coming in and commenting. But the problem is, and we actually went through this when we had those initial discussions with those people, it starts with, "Oh, it's so bad, what's going on?" But if you were to point out something like this, they'd be like, "It's about time." So there's no rhetorical capacity for shame, or else they would have hit it many moons ago. So we're here, and those people are also here. Federal agents. They thwarted a plot to kidnap the governor of the state. And it's funny that I remember being, and Gretchen Whitmer is not like our policy hero or anything, but is a human being who should not be kidnapped by weirdos or be in her office trying to work, and then a bunch of nuts come up with guns and they post up outside her office. First of all, when there's this federal investigation, I have to ask, where's the state? Where was the state of Michigan security when this initially happened? Where was the
infiltrated?
Yeah. There.
I know that you know, but I just gotta say it because, like, I feel like people are just playing games. Like, again, they don't remember the news. The FBI told us that by their estimation, 30% of law enforcement was white nationalists.
Right.
Yeah.
What the fuck, guys? Like, how can you expect anything to even be different from this? Like, if that's the case, like, yeah, there were probably cops in on this plot from the day one. Let's just be real. Have y'all watched the All Gas No Brakes where he's at the Proud Boys rally?
No, I haven't. I know you're a big.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I know you're a big All Gas No Brakes fan and follower. You recommend their videos all the time.
Everyone should watch the new one where he's at the Proud Boys rally. It really, there's a lot more in it than you'd expect. But one of the things that happens several times is that these people confirm that they're communicating with the police regularly.
Yeah.
And like, they're just saying it.
Well, the Kyle Rittenhouse video where after he shot the guy and he's talking to the police and saying, he said, "I shot someone," and they're just having a regular the police are just having a regular conversation with him after he just killed somebody.
Yes. He started with his hands up and put him down, and that says everything you need to know.
Yeah. They weren't worried about him. He was a white kid with a gun, so they weren't worried about him.
The reason people aren't more reacting to this is because this isn't being reflected in the narratives about it. Like, the narratives themselves that people are consuming and have available to them that allow them to think about things in any given way don't incorporate these realities, right? And there is no way to get people to give a shit about this without changing the story to incorporate these truths. And that's what we're doing here. That's why we're doing this. That's why propaganda exists. It's because there needs to be a story for people to understand the world around them with. They need that story.
Do we? This sounds like such a depressing question or leading question, and I don't mean it to be a leading question. So you guys answer however you want. Do you guys think America's top cop will put a dent in this problem if she's elected? Or will be like, hey, this is right up my alley? Or are we thinking that, I mean, look, every time a Democrat is president, this is something that flares up. So even in the art of self-preservation, do you think that this might be something that an incoming Democratic administration might want to do something about?
Do you mean like Kamala preserving herself by addressing police brutality against black people, or do you mean like preserving her career by not?
I mean, well, the underlying logic would be preserving her political party via working aggressively against Ruby Ridge type groups that maybe Obama didn't want to actively. No. Anyone? Kennedy, you are on mute.
Yes.
I can already tell you the answer is absolutely not. She will not put a dent in it. And the reason why is because she didn't put a dent in any of these problems in California. We know about the executioners, the internal cop gang that you get into by killing an unarmed civilian. That's the initiation rite, which, to be clear, this is harsher than many
gangs.
Actual gang the cops are a gang, but yes, actual gang. That's I can't come up with a better way to say
street gang is the word that you're going with. Yeah,
sure. This is a lot harsher than a lot of street gang jump-ins, like where they might tell you to like beat up someone from another gang or something, not kill an unarmed civilian. That's an insane initiation. That's so psychopathic. It is completely outside the realm of normal humanity. And that shit's going on in California. And Kamala Harris didn't do anything to stop any of that.
So here's what I think is actually going to happen. I think she will make nominal efforts to address it, but they will be primarily focused on expanding the police state. It'll be used rhetorically to expand the police state and say, we need to use our police forces to root this out. And they're already talking about doing this, right? They're already talking about increasing police budgets. What they're going to do is start passing laws, giving them the right to get into people's private spaces, to control people's communications in new ways. It's going to be exactly the same stuff that happened after Occupy with Obama. And it's going to be nominally to control these white supremacists, but in reality will only properly be enforced when it's leftists organizing, because we live in hell world.
Nightmare brain. Listen, Leslie, say something
nice. State of exception, dude. This is not new. This is not like a new thing. Agamben wrote this like decades ago. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is what happens.
Leslie, save us. Say something.
Here's something positive.
I was going to say, I want to talk about Grav talking about Kennedy's hair, which I do agree looks very good.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
I cut my own hair.
Are you charging? Is this a free service? This is your quarantine haircut right now?
Yeah, this is. See, the thing is, I started cutting my own hair years ago, though. And I won't lie, my partner does help me because doing the back and stuff very hard, to do on your own. But we've just been cutting our own hair for years, and it works out fine for us. And so when coronavirus hit, I was like, yes, while you went out and partied, I studied the blade. So yes,
Leslie,
this is my unironic COVID haircut. Take that.
Well, it looks good, Kennedy.
Whatever.
Leslie,
I had a crush on Kennedy before it was cool.
Is it cool now?
Probably.
I don't know. Anyway.
Do y'all want to talk about something else funny that's unrelated?
Wait. Leslie, you lived through Ruby Ridge. You lived through the 9/11. I mean, the Centennial Olympic bombings. You lived through Eric Rudolph. what do you think needs to be done about this kind of stuff long term? What do you think will happen? Or give us something here.
What should happen? What will happen? At this point, I'm at a loss. That's what I'm leaving the country. I'm done. I can't. I'm trying, but I see nothing good. Like, I don't see any end in sight. I don't see with what we've got going on for the presidential, for who's running for president. That's not going to fix anything. What we got going locally, there's some people that want to help, but for the most part, it's just same shit, different day. And as soon as travel is allowed, I'm getting the fuck out.
I think probably the midterms, the 2022 election, I think is going to really show whether we're going to be able to pull this off. Frankly, if we can't get it together enough to get some candidates in office by 22. Like, not a lot, but if we can't start winning elections by 22, I don't think we're going to pull it off.
I think we're going to win some elections in 22. I don't know if this whole thing where we add 5 people every couple of years is going to be fast enough to save this. But before Kennedy, you transfer to whatever our next stop is going to be, I want to just add this. Truth Arrow sliding in from Periscope. Hey, Pennsylvania, Biden will ban fracking right after you vote. Don't fall
God, I
for
wish Biden was this cool.
What if
I wish Biden was that cool, for real. If Biden was capable of doing that kind of a feint on somebody, I would be like, mwah. I would love him.
Biden comes in and he's like, he's got the aviator glasses.
Just like all the Biden memes were true.
All the memes were true, baby. I lied. Fracking ban. Gotcha.
You're all vegans now.
Time, baby. You're all vegans now.
Actually a leftist. I feel like,
I do. All right.
Base.
Let's bring Grav in for this next segment. Grav, what's up, bud?
Hey, how's everything going?
Let's
it's terrible. The world is ending, but that's good.
Yeah, have you seen our background?
Active self-care mode for like the past, I don't know, 2 months now. This is the last time I did a daily stream.
Have you seen our background? Like this background?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's all burning, but we're vibing. That's what's happening. That's right.
How have you guys been?
We've been good.
Personally, not politically. I'm mad. That's a personal question.
Wait, I don't want to do this because we're in the middle of making content, and I know that the viewers demand better. They don't want to they don't care about us.
All right,
they want to make the joke. So what do you got?
I got an interesting follow. Just a few minutes ago, during the show, this happened on my Twitter, and we're just gonna look at this, okay?
Wow, quality content, yeah.
Yeah. What is this? Morgan Zeggers, fight the comedy. The commies, not the comedy. Founder of Yes America. Oh, this is fucking gold.
It's Young Americans Against Socialism, by the way. In case you don't know what Yes is.
Wait, you're about to start a Twitter beef. You're about to start a Twitter beef with literally the Yas Queen. You are in it with the Yas Queen. You really leveled up, dog.
Okay, who's this person? I need to pick fights with her.
Well,
did you guys ever visit the Yas website before?
No.
So the people who started Yas, and like this whole group, it's all funded by like boomers.
Of course.
And like the people who have joined Yas as like members and stuff, we're talking like 40-plus-year-old people, and I'm like, you guys aren't. Not sure if culturally that would be classified as young yet, especially with life expectancy going down the drain.
It's a hustle, and this is how you get the money from the olds. It is whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But
it's
listen,
a fine grift.
Yeah,
we need a yak. We need a yak. A Young Americans Against Capitalism.
I'm just gonna.
Then where does that leave me? Because I'm not young.
You're the sponsor. You give us money. This is a grift. We just explained this to you.
Wait, how the hell did that happen?
Get out your check, Leslie.
You're one of the founders for the yak.
Okay.
I'm just gonna send Morgan Zergers a link to this room right now.
Hell yeah.
She's not gonna come, but anyway, she's not gonna come.
I love on her page that she's against socialism, she hates the commies, and she loves country music. I mean, like, she had to add that. I like that.
Can I
just
tell
want
you
to
though?
speak directly to her fans right now. Fans of Morgan Zagers, I'm hotter and I'm way better at fucking. You should follow me instead.
Wow. Okay.
Listen.
I am more likely to respond to you.
I don't know.
Fewer followers.
I don't know.
You don't know what Morgan's
she's
doing.
She's probably very
Following.
Yeah,
chatty.
follow back, chatty.
Well, she's not following back. She's not following back.
She's not following
She's doing
back.
that.
But
Once you reach
neither,
a certain level
guys,
of Twitter
can
clout,
I-
you just don't do the follow backs anymore.
Leslie.
Can I throw out something? I got blocked yesterday morning by Patty Davis on Twitter, Ronald Reagan's daughter.
Wow.
That
What
seems
happened?
like that seems good.
Did you say that you were
why?
going to piss on Reagan's grave?
She was on CNN talking about the need for transparency in the White House.
Wow.
Okay.
So I tweeted to her, didn't your dad have dementia while he was in the White House? And she tweeted back that I needed to stop being a jerk and to speak about something that I know. I'm now my 7th family member with dementia, by the way. So yeah, she and before I could respond, she blocked me.
Sure.
That rules.
Listen.
That's just the Twitter way.
Yeah.
That is the Twitter way. Listen, I will let you know, Kennedy, you may be misjudging this entire moment, because I remember when Nabila was running for office and got into that tiff with Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz' sister was also posting at Nabila. I followed Matt Gaetz' sister, and if you've watched the NBA, you know you get near the rim when you're ready to dunk. So she's obviously in the dunking position, right? She's posting up. She's ready to get the rebound for one of your next posts. But, you know, as Matt Gaetz' sister was posting, I was like, so I don't agree with these takes, but, you know, I feel like an ass attacking these takes. I'm just going to let this person be. And Matt Gaetz' sister has been one of my mutuals for like the last 9 months. And what I'm saying, Kennedy, is this could be the start of a beautiful friendship between you and Morgan fighting the commies. You play some country music for her when she gets on here, and maybe it all works out. Man.
No, I always say, you know, I feel like converting, you know, Republicans, that there's a lot more potential there than a lot of leftists think. I'm always on that. You know, maybe she's following me because she's ready to get woke. Did you think about that?
Right. That's
like
right.
she saw my takes and she was like, "Dang,
these are good points."
Maybe
man.
I could be
Who
woke."
is your most controversial follower, by the way?
I should stop
Out of,
blaming
like, all the
Venezuela
people
for
that
everything.
you know out of your followers.
Maybe she really
It's gotta
likes
be
your
her for me.
haircut and thinks
I was going to say, she's drawn in by your haircut.
Well, I haven't even posted the new. I should post the new haircut.
obviously.
That's the way to do it.
That's you got to do a thirst trap now, brother.
I was
That
thinking
haircut's
about
too
doing
fresh.
being a leftist gun thirst trap.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
putting a bisexual flag behind me, holding a World War II rifle. Come on.
I'm sorry,
Right?
bisexual? What is that?
It's a flag.
What? It's a flag.
Oh, what is bisexuality? I'm sorry.
It's multiple.
For those that don't
genders.
know, it's the bisexual eraser joke. Jesus, guys.
What is a bisexual racer?
Eraser.
Oh, there's a Power Ranger. I thought we were talking about
Who would be the most bisexual Power Ranger that we've seen so far, Kennedy?
Billy.
Well, Billy
No, Brandon got it in
objectively,
one.
right?
Yeah, I think obviously it's Billy. I mean,
because we know he's gay, and he actually is written in this way that's sort of implicative of at first, but then in season 2 he's like, nah, I fuck women.
Isn't that?
I get a
for
girlfriend
the old,
every
like-
2 weeks.
Wait,
having a
Nothing's
beard
wrong there.
doesn't make you
All right.
bisexual.
for the old
Everybody
person
stop.
for the old person who doesn't remember very much about Power Rangers, was that the Blue Ranger?
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
correct.
See,
100 mom points to Leslie.
the
He's
Blue Ranger.
remembering
Hey,
this.
I still got the first 2 movies on VHS. So
Hell yeah, I love that. Having a
love that.
beard doesn't make you bisexual. Do we mean like a female friend that's a beard? Or do we mean like either way? It doesn't.
Doesn't make you bisexual. Either way.
Need a shave.
Yeah, I know, right?
Fuck.
Well, I'm glad we're back
Oh.
on our antics. This is much more enjoyable content than us sitting around talking about how doomed we are.
So hey,
Uh,
listen.
Should we talk
Well,
about
go
more
ahead,
Twitter
David.
shit or what?
I want to
Um,
know, what have you guys been working on? I haven't been on this stream in the past like 2 months. Is there any personal projects you guys are doing? Any self-care tips you guys have?
Let's wait. Let's come back to self-care because I have a
Okay.
topic that's a little interesting. And maybe
Okay.
we'll blast right through it and it won't be super, but it might be a little bit interesting.
Okay.
Obviously, Joe Biden is not meeting this moment. Donald Trump is not meeting this moment. Maybe a human being just can't meet this moment. Maybe what we need to meet this moment is a brand. So I want to talk about the Working Families Party. In the sense of all of this stuff that's going
God,
down,
dude.
the Working Families Party has rebranded because this is their old logo. It is blue. It is white. There's very little to say about it. It's just a blue block and it's got some white in it. So they looked at movements and they looked for something forward-thinking, intersectional, inclusive, and fun. They looked at old signs from the 70s. They looked at bowling alleys from the 60s. They put it all together and they have made, they made a little design kit. They picked a color. They made color combinations. They made a symbol. This is their symbol. It's a compass. It can go in any direction. It's whatever you want it to be. It's going towards good things, and you don't have to worry about it. And they've got their little. Like I said, it's very much a retro bowling alley layout.
Yep.
And they have a mascot. It's a very pixelated. They got a PS1 wolf.
Yo, I fuck with that though.
I have more to say. We got a little round logo, and yeah, this is their rebrand, and this is their new brand identity. And before we all quickly give our thoughts on this, what do you, Grav, and anyone, what do you think? How do you feel about it?
So I guess I'll start off. Right, because the left needs more bureaucracy. I don't know, man. How many different times have we attempted different parties throughout the years or whatever, and lo and behold, DSA is the one with the most members, despite being largely representative of the white American left, you know? So it's kind of just I don't know. I really don't know where we go from here when it comes to organizing. And I'm not sure if you guys have already had this conversation yet, but it's just one of those things where it's just have you guys even seen about that news piece, or not even that news piece? There was a couple of tweets that were going around about how there's quote unquote fake organizers that were leading protesters directly into the police.
Yes.
So
wait, I want to come back to that. I want to just
Right.
talk about the Working Families Party redesign and then talk
Right.
about.
Sorry to get more in the weeds about this stuff, but I think the Working Families Party is just I don't know, man. The most that's gonna happen is it's gonna be another bureaucratic entity that's gonna portray themselves as yes, we're the real representation of the working class. And then there's going to be a bunch of executives who they ask for donations or whatever for X, Y, and Z thing. And then they're going to pay out bonuses that are in the 6 digits.
Rachel,
The way I see it.
Rachel, give your
Full screen me
thoughts.
for this one. This is a full screen situation.
All right,
friends.
let's go.
I don't think there is any amount of branding magic you're going to do that's going to get us unfucked. That's not how we're going to get out of this. We need to actually start winning people over by showing up for them, by making ourselves look like the good guys. We can only do that by actually being the good guys. You can put a smiley face on every single shirt over the hammer and sickle, and it's not going to make a difference. The hammer and sickle are the tools that we're supposed to be putting down. We are never going to get out of the hard work of this. We're never going to do better than this using the same strategies. We have to change. We have to actually look at our enemies and what they are doing by infiltrating the police and creating paramilitary and military forces. We need to actually take this seriously. We need to actually organize in our communities, and we need to convince people to do this with us. That's it. I don't care what your logo is. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Tell a better story. Don't make it look prettier.
Logos matter. Branding matters. Design matters. Aesthetic matters.
Aesthetic matters, yes.
Even during apocalypse, aesthetic matters.
I agree.
If you are looking to convince people that you are an organization that is going to actually help them with their problems and difficulties, people don't want to join a janky group because everybody's got their own problems. And you can convince somebody to pitch in the same way you can convince somebody to pitch in a relationship. But if a person is if a person is a janky person, if they're a janky ass person that doesn't know how to present themselves, regardless of the urgency of their situation, you are going to be disinclined to jump in with 2 feet to help that person. And the same thing applies to groups. We can be disdainful of like color palettes and logos and these things, but it's a vital part of when I see you for the first time, in the same way that we see a person for the first time. Is this trustworthy? Is this well organized? Can this achieve what it talks about? If the thing that you're presenting me with is a janky thing, I will probably be less inclined, and this is just an average person, not me specifically, will be less inclined to get in on it. So while the mission is obviously the most important thing, and it doesn't need to be cute, but it does need to be consistent and together. And so as silly as the 1970s bowling alley look is, all of these NGOs and nonprofits do this for a reason. And a person-centered organization that's a democratic working class organization should also think about the way that symbology and images impact people. In fact, it might be more important for a group that is really thinking about this work to think about how things look, maybe.
I do not think that an organization that currently had good enough branding, like, because it wasn't like, it wasn't incredible. It was professional looking and fine, right?
Oh, the old Working Families?
The old branding was fine. And branding is a foot in the door. Branding is about framing yourself. I get that. But like Working Families Party already had enough traction. They didn't need better branding. This is the kind of branding change that happens because a bunch of people who don't know how to actually put boots on the ground have realized they're stagnating. And they're trying to create a sense of movement that actually is not reflected by larger movement. And it's like, I don't care anymore. I don't care.
We agree on that.
Do something.
I think, just to interject real quick, I think if branding was what we needed to meet this moment, Bernie Sanders would be the Democratic nominee. Rachel would have 100K followers, and she would be leading the 42nd division of the
Antifa International. Hey,
I mean, yeah. Did y'all see? Hold on, I just gotta say, did y'all see the Bernie Sanders Strokes collab shirt? If that wasn't good enough to get him elected, then Brandon can't do it alone. I'm sorry.
They can't not, but it was a dope shirt.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying that shirt was so dope. It was so dope that if that shirt couldn't get him elected, you need more than great branding.
Every little bit counts. Listen, do we have anything else that we want to add, or do we want to go to the post show? Do we want to go home? What's happening?
You're talking about go home.
We can
we are home.
We can wrap
we
this
keep
up
going
and
through this.
Go to the post show.
Let's post show it. Let's all hang out. Let's do something that's less stressful than this. Everybody, it's been real. It's been good. It's been a good time, a long time.
Time flew by, actually.
Time flew by when you have a team like this. And Grav, you asked what's going on in our personal lives, what we're working on. And I did not forget, let me tell you, right now, the thing that me and Kennedy are working on is the Promised Land. And it is an MMO farming simulator, 2D, pixel art based. And it's just a very cute very fun game that's in development, and people should join the Discord. They should follow on Twitter. They should send us their climate posts and takes because we'll probably retweet some. And
and 60% of the game's profits go into climate change.
Not profits, revenue.
Sorry, revenue.
Revenue. That's even bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not fucking around here.
No, yeah.
So,
60% of the revenue going to climate change. So, you know, a lot of the stuff that we do that's like fighting these problems is kind of shitty and boring. And like there's spreadsheets and meetings and marching in the rain and all that kind of stuff. So wouldn't it be nice if occasionally after all of the marching, you could do this? And, you know, that's why we got involved anyway. It just sounded nice.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty awesome, dude. I didn't even hear about that before.
Now you know. Leslie, do you have anything else that you want to plug besides your book that's always happening?
Well, this week on Into the Abyss, anybody who's been watching Lovecraft Country, we have Jonathan Majors, who is the character of Atticus. We have his stunt double on.
I love that. That's super dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, in addition to that, you do have the book, and it's called Forgotten Tomorrows, Crazy Todays, and it's your memoir. It's a memoir. Yeah,
it is a memoir. It is a 5-year story of when I was doing stand-up comedy, becoming caregiver to my father in my home, his mother long distance, both with dementia, while having a husband who was bipolar with schizophrenic tendencies, and my oldest child with autism who was not diagnosed. And it's all of that with my twisted sense of humor.
If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can just read it right now. You can just click the button and just read it, which is cool.
Yep, for free. And right now, all proceeds are going to different charities for Alzheimer's, veterans, Parkinson's, because those are all things that were in the book.
So we'll talk more post-game show. $5, you can come watch us and join us, and we would appreciate that. That's like the price of a hamburger. And we do good stuff for your money. So let's get in there.
Patreon.com/notsafe.
Hell yeah. All right. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Wait, you can't.
What?